Hey Ghost Hunters. Well, you guys voted and wouldn't you know it, you decided by the slimmest of margins that my first game review should be on Phasmophobia. It shouldn't have, but this actually took me a little bit by surprise. I actually expected most viewers would want to see a different game by now, but I was obviously very wrong. If you are at all familiar with my regular content, you probably know that all my videos up to this point are about Phasmo. Most of them are on how the game operates and how to play, and I was a little bit worried about my objectivity if I was to make this review. After all, Phasmo and its community is the game that inspired me to start creating video game content. Is it even possible for me to make a neutral review? I debated how I wanted to do this review, whether I wanted to do some kind of point system for judging various aspects of the game. However, I decided I'm simply going to present the game from my unique and humble perspective as I would to a new player. I can't hide that I really like this game, but I can truthfully show you how the game can be played and the aspects of the game you may like or dislike. Without any further rambling, let's get into it. What is Phasmophobia? The best way I can describe Phasmophobia is a first-person puzzle game with a horror theme. You can play as a ghost hunter either alone or with a team of hunters to identify what kind of ghost is haunting a location. You need a working microphone to play this game, as it's necessary to communicate with your team if you're playing with people and with the ghost. You can use various tools at your disposal to help you find and identify the ghost and accomplish various side objectives unique to each mission. As you correctly identify ghosts, complete objectives, and take quality photos, you can earn money to buy more sophisticated equipment and gain experience, which allow you to unlock larger locations and harder game modes. Okay, that's the basic rundown. And if you're still here but unfamiliar with Phasmo, you're probably wondering how the game makes itself more easy or difficult. The three basic game modes, Amateur, Intermediate, and Professional, primarily change two game mechanics that make the game a bit harder. Like in many horror games, Phasmo has a sanity mechanic that deteriorates while you are around paranormal activity or in the dark. As your sanity deteriorates, the chances that the ghost will attack or hunt you increases. As you raise the difficulty, the rate at which your sanity drops becomes faster. Also, the grace period from when the ghost attack or hunt begins and when the ghost can actually start hunting and attack you decreases, giving you less warning time. Now, when a ghost hunts you, you usually have one option: run and hide. As you raise the difficulty, you will find that more of the natural hiding spots in the house are not available, making an unexpected ghost hunt a deadly surprise if you're unlucky. There are a few more mechanics that the game changes between these difficulties, but these are the most notable. Now, the nightmare difficulty changes how you play. Normally, the easiest way to identify a ghost is by finding three pieces of evidence that you will use to narrow down which ghost you're dealing with. Each ghost has a unique 3 evidence combination, making a correct identification a certainty if you find all 3. This is where Nightmare changes things. In Nightmare mode, ghosts will hide one of their 3 pieces of evidence, making themselves harder to identify and the player having to make a guess based on the ghost's specific behavior. On top of this, your sanity monitor is broken, leaving you guessing when the ghost might attack. Beyond this, the game also will unlock a custom difficulty for players to create unique games. More on this in a second. One of the main things that makes Phasmo so fun is its replayability and its variability. Even if you just play one game mode, the game has 24 different kinds of ghosts and 12 maps. When you factor in where the ghost decides to make their favorite room, different kinds of ghost events and interactions, you have thousands of unique and interesting games on a single difficulty setting. Now, when you unlock custom difficulty, which doesn't take very long, you will truly be able to play some unique and interesting matches. In custom difficulty, the game lets you vary things like the amount of evidence hidden, how many cursed objects are on the map, how much sanity you will start with, whether your flashlight works, and even the speed of the ghost and the player. This makes the game very fun to replay and mess with. I find myself constantly trying to see if I can outwit a ghost while I have no evidence or sanity. For the most part, the harder you make the game, the higher your rewards if you succeed. Now, the custom system is a bit broken at the moment, where you can make a pretty easy game with really high rewards, but don't expect this to stay the same. Graphics, animations, and controls. This is what I consider a boring part of a game review, so I won't spend much time on this. The graphics are good, lots of settings to adjust for things for optimization with your machine, and they look good for the most part. Now, the animations can frankly be hilarious. For starters, in multiplayer, all players look like they're moonwalking. Also, everybody holds whatever item is in their hand at arm's length, like it's about to explode or something. These goofy animations can take a little bit away from the horror immersion element of the game, but they also bring me a lot of joy. Now, I recommend playing this game with a mouse and keyboard. The game does have controller support, but it's awkward and buggy, to put it kindly. The game is still in early access, which means all things are still developing and subject to change. That being said, I've played my fair share of early access games, and I have to say, the developers from Phasmo really shine. I have not seen a game with such a high dedication from the development team. There is even a Discord where players can communicate major bugs to the team, and they usually fix these in hot patches within a week or so. The game has been in early access for 2 years now, so I imagine the full release will be sooner rather than later. Phasmo is a very complex game, and very different yet familiar to other horror games in the genre. The game can be a bit goofy, but that's kind of its charm. And I think it makes the game more accessible to non-horror players. If you're a regular horror enthusiast, don't worry, it's still a horror game. It just doesn't rely on jump scares and sudden loud noises to set a scary tone. If you made it this far, thanks for watching, and if you haven't played the game and want to, check out my series of tutorials on the game. Again, thanks for watching, and as always, have a good one.